Hey everybody, welcome back to Let Them Eat Shrimp. Now we are going to demonstrate how the advanced game works. Now, actually, on a lot of ways, it's still pretty much the same game. Every turn, you're still putting one of your fish tiles out to try to collect other fish tiles or shrimp and avoid sharks and all of that. But now the game is actually played over a series of rounds, which is why there is a first player marker that switches from round to round. And at the beginning of every round, this is the really big deal, everybody has to take one of their fish from behind their screens, one of each type of fish, and put it on their player board. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Of course, it's easy in the very first round because, like the regular game, at the beginning of the game, everybody gets one of each fish tile. So easy peasy. So there we go. Now, over this round will last until all players have played all four of these tiles. Unlike the regular game, they cannot pull tiles from behind their screens. Not that there are any tiles behind our screens at the moment. You have to use only these. And that introduces a lot more interesting strategies to the game because you can see what tiles your opponent has to play. You know, which ones they have and haven't played yet. And what's more important, as you're doing this and you're collecting more tiles, everything goes the same. But when the next round starts, you once again have to fill each and every one of these spaces. And if you're ever in a situation where you can't because you haven't collected one of each of those in the previous round, then you start having to give up your fish eggs as a replacement so you can fill these spaces. And that can get very, very tricky. It means you now have a much more strict, regimented set of requirements. You have to, wherever possible, pick one of each of the four tiles each round. And you're only getting to play four tiles. So let's actually play a few rounds of that to kind of show what the game feels like is a little bit different. And as before, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see the board a little bit better. Let's actually, and then just move so we can see all the player tiles. Right, there we go. So, right, I am the first player. I've got the first player marker. And where am I going to go first? Now, like before, you randomly see the tiles. And again, I'm playing on the regular side. But if we were playing on the other sides of these, where you've got 13 sharks flying around, it becomes even tougher to ensure that while avoiding these sharks as much as possible, you're getting all the colors you need because there's just a lot less colors. It's much more likely you get knocked out. And now, so I was going to say another thing too. In the base game, if you lay a tile such that you say cover up multiple shark spaces like that, in the base game that only counts as getting hit by the shark once. You only roll the dice once. In the advanced game, you have to roll the die for every shark. So in this case, I'd have to roll the die twice and potentially lose two things. It gets much, much trickier. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so I am first. Now where am I going to place? So I've got this one here, and I've got this one over here. I think for starters, I will take my red and I'll put it here because that gets me the red back and gets me a green. So I take a red and I'm putting these behind player screens. And I get a green. And so I'm doing okay. That means I've locked in my red for next round and my green for next round too. But I need to, before the round's over, I need to make sure I get a blue and a yellow so I have one of everything that I need. But I've got to do that. We'll see if I actually pull that off. So now it's Jen's turn. She plays one of these. And that's interesting. She's actually set me over here so she could go on ahead and use her own red to pick up two yellows. But here's the problem with that. Great, she's got two yellows. She only needs one yellow for next round. She might not get a chance to pick up another red anyplace. Although there's a red over here, but maybe she won't get those. So, even though this is more efficient than picking up two yellows with a yellow, I think she'll pick up two yellows with a yellow because she gave up a yellow, but she got two. So she is, making sure that she gets everything she needs for next round. All right, and so now it's my turn again. Let's see here. And now I'm down to my big one, my little blue diamond, and my green. Let's see. So I'll go on ahead and use my big one now. And I'll go like that. and this gets me a green, which I need. Oh, actually, that's interesting. I've already collected green. I don't need to collect another green. And if I get a starfish, normally starfish are pretty nice because, hey, you know you'll get something. You're likely to get something. But now, if I don't get the thing I need, I could be in trouble next round. So maybe that's not quite as exciting. Although, boy, I can't believe I didn't even notice this. This is a much better move. Should have done that right from the get-go. Starfish, shrimp, and a red. Now, I'm giving up a yellow to get a red, and now that's a bit dangerous because I might not have a yellow next turn. But I'll take the red, and I'll take the shrimp, which again are just worth 2 points at the end of the round, and I get the starfish. So where's the die? Here we go. So I got to roll the die, and I rolled a shark. Now, the dice rolls get a little bit nastier as well because in the regular game, when you're doing a starfish and you roll the shark, nothing bad happens. But in the advanced game, let's see. Oh, no, actually it stays the same. It's only when you're rolling for the shark. So basically, that was a bit of a bummer. I rolled a shark, which means I didn't get anything, and so I gave up a yellow to get a red. And I already had a red, so that might spell doom for me next round, but we'll see what happens. Jen's still got 3 more tiles to place. Let's see. So, and I think, yeah, she likes this. She'll place here, which with a single red, she'll get a green and a red. So she's got a green and she's got a red. Now, as long as she picks up a blue, she is set for next round because she's got a little bit of everything. And now back to me. Right, so I've got 2 reds and a green, but I need to get a yellow and a blue before it's all done. Let's see. So I could come here. This would be easy enough. And I'd pay a blue to get a blue, so I'd be treading water. I'd be breaking even. And let's see, I don't have to worry about getting an extra green. Oh, but I remember I have to get a yellow as well. So, I think I will go ahead and use my green here to pick up a yellow. And therefore, so that's good. I've got my yellow for next round as I need it. And now it's Jen's turn. And so she's still got her blue and her green. Now, where does she want to go? So now she needs to pick up a blue somewhere because she's short on blues. As am I. So she will be, again, kind of tread water, and she will she'll go like this, and so she's putting a blue down, which gets her another blue. All right, so that was, she didn't lose anything, she didn't gain anything. Could she have done anything better? How else can she get blue? Number one thing is she doesn't want to miss getting a blue. She could have done the same thing here. That wouldn't have made much of a difference. There's a blue over here, but she'd have to go through 2 sharks to get it. Yeah, this is going to be trouble for me because Jen is going to do that, and so she got the blue, and now it's my last turn. And, this was good. No, Jen is smart. By doing this, she has created this that allows me to get that. So when Jen grabbed the blue, she went like this instead. And so she grabbed the blue. Now, this is my last placement, and Jen could see that. She knew when she put that down, this is all I have left. And I'm kind of bummed because now it's impossible for me to pick up a blue, I think. I can't go like that. I'd have to go like this. I could go here. I could get another yellow, so that's nice. I'm getting some excess yellows, but I can't get to that blue. I could get that shrimp. I could get this shrimp over here. I could get a red, so I have some excess reds, and that's all sharks. I want to avoid that if at all possible. So I'm in trouble. I'm going to give up a blue, which means next round, since I won't have a blue, I'm going to lose 1 of my 3 fish eggs, and I could get knocked out if I lose too many of them. So, but in the meantime, what do I want? Do I want to get a shrimp or a yellow? I mean, I'd like to go here because I get a shrimp yellow, but unfortunately, I can't expand like that. Let's see here. I think I will take an extra yellow. There we go. So I'll go with like that. So gave up my blue. I got a yellow, and that was it. The round is over for me. And now it is Jen's turn, and she's got her 1 little green left. Now here's an interesting thing too. Now this only happens in the 2-player version of the advanced game because this is Jen's last play. She's going to put this, and then the round marker's going to go over to her. So she will be first in the next round. In the 2-player game, every other turn, a player gets to have 2 moves in a row. So that's very cool. That Jen could use this. Where could she put this? Right now, she can't pick up anything this turn. With a single, there's no place that she could place legally. But she could set this so that at the beginning of her next round, she could have a better go of it. So like if she puts it here, then from there she could expand, since she'll be first next turn, to get that blue and that thing. Or she could put over here and get the same thing going. Yeah, I think she'll do that. So, because now there's no good place for her to put her green, but at least she put it in a spot that will set her up. Right. So that was the end of a round. We have each placed all 4 of ours. And now at the end of the round, player marker moves over, and now at the beginning of the next round, we've got to fill all 4 of our types again. And here's where it's going to work out well for Jen, because she's got her yellow, she's got her blue, she's got her red, and she's got her green. So that means on the previous round, she netted 1 tile. She had 1 extra tile left over that's going to be worth scoring for her at the end of the game. Things aren't so good for me. I got a yellow and a green and a red, and no blue. So now I have to give up one of my 3 precious fish eggs to get that blue. But on the flip side, so I've lost a fish egg, but I stored 2 things instead of 1 like Jen did. And remember, at the end of the game, it's going to be all about, if the game ended right now, I've got 2, that's a set of 1. Jen doesn't have anything. Although again, she's got 3 fish eggs, which count as wilds. I've only got 2. But I also picked up some shrimp. So even though I took the penalty, I did better in terms of what I've picked up. But anyway, now it is Jen's turn to go first in this second round. Let's go ahead and make all these things visible. And where is she going to go? Well, since she set herself up for this, she's going to use her blue to come over here, and she'll use her blue to pick up a blue and a shrimp. So basically, she just netted a shrimp. All right, so she's pretty happy with that. And although, is there anything better she could do? I mean, she could have come over here with a yellow and given up a yellow to get a green and a red. But yeah, I think she liked that because she wanted to guarantee. All right, so she did that, which means now it's my turn. And so out of the gate, I could go on ahead and do this, give up a yellow, because I have an excess yellow. If I need to, I don't have to worry. And this would get me, it's 2 for 1. That's a pretty good return. Can I do better? There's a single thing there. There's like a shrimp and a thing there. Oh, this would be a kind of nice 3, but then there's also a shark, so I'd lose something as well. So I think, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to come ahead and jump on this. And so I give up a yellow to get a red and a green. Green and a red. All right. So, and now it's Jen's turn again. Where is she going to go? What is she going to do? Let's see here. See, she'd love to be able to do this, but she'd have to have expanded there first. What else could she do? She could use her big one to come over here to get another blue and a shrimp. So she'd be, and since she already had it, she'd be netting a blue and a shrimp. So that's actually pretty good. This shark is just blocking her from getting all that good stuff. Yeah, I guess she will do that. Yeah, she'll do that. So she gave up a yellow to get a blue and a shrimp. Blue and a shrimp. And that shrimp is guaranteed 4 points. And now she's got an excess blue. Now my turn. I'm down to 3. Okay. I've got nothing that's really nice. Oh, wow. Shoot. Oh, well, see, actually interesting. Now that Jen went like this, now there's no space for another biggie. That's a triple. And I'm really happy about that. Jen maybe shouldn't have done this because she set up so that since I'll be first in the next round when we get all our stuff back, I'll be able to get this 3 for 1 space. So that's really nice. I'm very happy about that. But in the meantime, where else am I going to go? I think I will go here. I'll use my red. So Jen putting this here, that was a nice return for her, but it worked out much better for me. I get a green and a starfish. So let's get that other green. So I'm starting to have excess. And now come on, do better for me this time. I don't want to see a shark. Anything other than a shark off of this starfish. And I rolled a green. So I got another green. Okay. Not bad. I would have rather had something else. Since I already had an excess green, I would have had a blue, but I'm not complaining. Okay, so now it's Jen's turn. She's got 2 more to place. Now see, this is tempting. She could come here. She knows I'm going to have first dibs on this next round because I'll be the first to place, and that'll just be a really big. Jen could come here like this, give up a red to get, give up a red to get a green, and but she'd also be getting hit by a shark, so she would have to roll. And now, if she gets lucky, she has a 1 in 6 chance if she rolls a starfish of not losing anything. And she'd be preventing me from getting that because that's just going to be a really good return for me. Now she could do it another way. She could put this like this, and she'd be giving up a red to get a single blue, and and she won't have a red. But that means, you know, I won't have as good a return on this next time. But heck, if she does that, she can see I'll just do this. So that's actually benefiting me. So she's not going to do that. Where else could she go? She's got a little one and a big one. She could go like this and get a blue and a shrimp. She could go like this and get a yellow. She has an extra yellow. She has extra blue. She really, to avoid losing points, she needs to pick up a red because she's about to give up a red. But where could she pick up a red? Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. Look at that. She can come here, and she gets a red and a starfish. So she'll go like that. So she got another red, and she got a starfish. Let's see what she rolls. And that gave her a blue. Oh, wow, that's very lucky. Okay, and so now my turn. And by Jen expanding out that way, what has that done for me? Let's see. Now, what do I need? I've got a yellow left over. Okay, I need to get a blue. So I could just do this. I give up a blue to get a blue. So it means I don't lose any points next round. But then, but actually, that's the thing. I'm setting Jen up so she could get to these. But all she's got is a single. So it's not like I'm giving her that much. She would take one and then I would take one. So that's actually pretty cool. Can I do better than that? Well, I know I need to get blue. I don't want to lose any more, so I will do that. So I'm giving up a blue, and all I get is a blue back. So I'm not going to lose any eggs. And so now this is Jen's last turn. And so what could she do? She could get another yellow, but she's got a yellow. And, right, she does need to get a green or she'll lose, so she will go on ahead and do that. She'll take a green. So she's not missing out next round. And so now this is my turn. And so this is my last one. And again, I'm going to place this, and then I'm going to get the first play marker. So I'm going to get to go fur. I'm going to get to do 2 moves back to back. So, and now, strictly speaking, I've got one of every color, so I'm not going to lose anything. So I could come over here and grab this, or I could set myself up for something better, being the first player next round. So it might be tempting to do something like this, because I get nothing, because then, right off the bat, I could get a shrimp, a blue, and a starfish. That's pretty nice. Because I do that, and then Jen would probably go over and get that. Could I set myself up for something better? Or I could just get the blue right now. Yeah, I will do that. So I'm going to place this, which does nothing for me, but now at the end of the round, we're all fine. Move over. Now I have to refill, and I don't think anybody lost anything. Everybody collected. Jen just barely. Okay. And me. Okay. And so at the end of that, now of course, what's behind our screens nobody knows, but as it happens, Jen's got 2 blues and 2 shrimps. I've got all right, so there we go. And now I will go on ahead and use this red as I'd set up, and I get a shrimp, a blue, and a starfish. Shrimp, yummy. Blue, and starfish, which means I got to roll. Come on, starfish. Wow, that's the best I could get. I get to choose any fish I want. And so, now that's an important choice because I got to make sure, the one I want to choose is the one that's going to ensure, I probably just want to choose a yellow because who knows if I'm going to be able to pick up another yellow. I mean, I can see there's a yellow here and here. So actually, there's no way I couldn't get a yellow so I don't need to pick up a yellow because I know there's yellows coming. I can just use a single green to get either of these yellows. So what can't I get? Right. Should I pick up another red or since I've got an excess of greens, I should and I know I'm going to be able to get up a yellow. That means I'd have 2 yellows. So do I want to pick up a blue or red and say out? Because Jen might take that blue, but then that would get me to that red. Yeah, I guess I will just go ahead and take a yellow just to be on the safe side. So got anything I wanted? Right, so now it's Jen's turn. And where is she going to go? All right, so she's got her biggie. She can't really use that to good effect any place. I think she will just go on ahead. And since she has no yellows now, she'll come over here and use that green to pick up a yellow. Okay. And now it's my turn again. And I'll go ahead and use my little guy. Do I want to pick up a yellow or a blue? I have one of each. And right now, yeah, I will go ahead and take a yellow. All right. And now Jen's, right. Where does she want to go? I think she'll use her biggie and come over here and get this red and this shrimp. She gave up a yellow to get a red because she had an extra yellow, so she was fine with that. And she got another shrimp. And shrimps are just pure points. Okay. And So I could use my blue over here to get a starfish. And who knows what I'll get. Or I could use, I think I'll use a blue to get a blue, so I'll just break even. I don't want to take a chance. And so now I've got excess yellow, and so that's actually pretty nice. Jen's got 2 more. She could use a red to get a red. That's not bad in the grand scheme of things, but she could do it over here. Doing over here doesn't set me up for anything. Doing over this then gives me, well, actually all is left is my really big one. So Jen wants to make sure what she doesn't do with this is set me up so I can get something really good with my big one. Although, look at this. She can see I can put a yellow over here and get a yellow and a blue. She doesn't want that to happen. But I could put over here and use my yellow to get a... So either way. So I guess Jen will go on ahead and take this because this uses a red to get a red and a green. So that's a nice profit. It uses a red to get a red and a green. All right, and that meant... So she's got everything she needs. And now this is my last one, and let's see. So I could go here and get a yellow and a red, or I can go here and get a yellow and a blue. I already have extra blue, so I'll do this to get a yellow and a red. Another yellow and a red. And now Jen, her last one, and this is going to be a 1-2 for her. She could use a blue to get a blue. And what else could she do, you might ask yourself. And that also sets herself up so right off the bat she could use a red to get those 2, so that's pretty nice. She can't quite get these. Right, so if she, all right, and she's going to be first next turn. I think, ideally, what she wants to do next, it would be great if she could set it up so that she could get all 3 of these with a single. But she can't really, not with this. If she still had a green, she might put it here so she could get all 3 of these. She could do this, and then those would break those up. Or she could do this, so she gets a blue now and sets her up so she can get 2 next turn. And I think she'll just do that. So she uses a blue to get a blue. All right. And so at the end of the round, switch over. Let's see how everybody did. I think everybody got 1 of each, although Jen just only had 1. And me, I get 1 of each. And so at the end of that round, you see, Jen has 3 shrimp. I've only got 2 shrimp, but I've got a full set of all 4 colors, and Jen's not quite so diverse. And now Jen gets to go first, and she will just go on ahead and use her triple over here to get a starfish and a yellow. Yellow and a starfish. Let's see what she rolls. And a shark. Arg, so she gets nothing. That's a bummer. And then it's my turn. And... where would I go? See, we have yet to... Now, this game is going to be over, like in the regular game, either when somebody runs out of eggs. So far, I've lost 1 egg. Jen hasn't lost any. When all of the non-shark occupied spaces are gone, so there's nothing but sharks and sea, or when we get to a point where none of these big ones can get played anymore. And you can see there's still a lot of space over here that we've yet to expand to. We've just been kind of filling up this section of the ocean. But pretty soon, actually, there's only these 3 left. And, I would love it if I could just do that and get all 3, but I can't. But at the very least, I can go on ahead and do this and give up a blue to get a red. All right, there we go. And then Jen, so now there's these 2 little itsy-bitsy ones. So Jen could use a green to get a green, and then she doesn't have to worry about fulfilling her green needs. She's happy with that. And then I'll use my green to get a shrimp. I'm happy with that, because I had extra green, so that worked out well for me. And now Jen's got 2 more big ones. Everything's done here. We could expand, but for no reason. We got to start going off in this direction now. And the problem is, the first person to do is really going to set, because Jen could use her biggie to come over here, and all that would get her is 1 starfish, and then it would open up a world of possibilities for me. Alternatively, she could stall. She could put this any place. Well, actually, she could do this. Yeah, she'll just do that. She'll give up the blue to get a red. And so she's stalling because she's got everything she needs now. She's got 1 of each color. And so, where's she going to go? Or am I going to go? Now, I can get that starfish with just a little piece like this. And let's see what I roll. And I rolled a starfish, so I can get any piece I want. That's nice. I'll go on ahead and take, let's see, there's 3 greens, 3 yellows, 3, and there's only 1 red left on this entire board, and it's very far away from us. So I think I'll take a red, because it looks like reds are going to be tough to be able to get for the remainder of the game. So I'll take a red. And now it's Jen's. This is her last play. And so she's got a biggie. And to come in here, she could get a shrimp plus a starfish, but she'd also roll for the shark and lose 1. Wow, look at this. I think she's going to do it. She's going to come here. She gets a shrimp, a starfish, and a blue, but she's also hitting a shark. So she's going to have to roll for that. So, shrimp, blue, and starfish. There's another shrimp and a blue. And let's see, now I forget, there's a rule about, and when you have to roll for both, do you roll for the shark or the starfish first? That I do not remember. I do not remember for the life of me. I think it's the starship first, and then the shrimp. So let's go ahead and roll the starfish for Jen, and she gets another yellow. And then let's roll the shark for her because she also hit a shark. And the shark with a shark means that means she has to give up one of her eggs. Ouch! That was not good. Okay. About the worst thing it could have been, because she was ready to give up anything. Although if she'd given up a green, she would have had to give up an egg anyway. So I guess that was for the best anyway. And so now it's my last turn. I've got one to place. It's a biggie. So I could place over here, get a starfish, a shrimp, and a shark like Jen did, or come over here and give up a yellow just for a blue. Yeah, I'll just do that. I don't want to necessarily give up anything. So I just picked up a blue. And now I'm first player. Everybody all right, and oh crap, I don't have any green. I'm out of greens. No, I do have one green. It's hidden under my shrimp. So I've got one of everything. Jen's got one of everything. And we continue as we fill in these last few spots. And that is how the advanced game works. Gives you quite a bit more to think about because you're always paying attention to what everybody else is going to do. Particularly in a two-player game, you get those double moves. They can be very powerful. And we keep going until the end, and then we tally up based on how we do sets. And that is the advanced version. Now, one thing that's actually very, very cool about the advanced version, I haven't demonstrated yet, but remember I talked about the Squid variant, where you, at the beginning of the game, you have one of each of the squid pieces as well. And now the way this works is, if you're playing the squid variant with the advanced, at the beginning of a round, when you start with all the squids and you have all these as well. At the beginning of the round, and you're having to pick one of each of the one of the four sizes. I could pick my yellow fish, or I could pick the squid. Either one of them can go into these spaces, although I have a finite number of squids. And so I want to put the squids out when I know there's going to be sharks that I could eat and score bonus shark pieces. But what happens is everybody chooses in secret the four shapes that they're going to do, and then everybody reveals all at once. So you can't be certain on a given turn when you might want to put some squid out to go for sharks, whether your opponent is going to do the same. But both of you can see when there are sharks close by. And so if you both put out, shrimp, but only one of you gets to eat the shark, that's been a very, very wasteful use of that shrimp. So that's a really, really cool element that gets brought in as well. In fact, Jen, we always play with these things. I should have probably demonstrated, but you get the idea. So anyway, folks, that's it. That was Let Them Eat Shrimp. There's still a lot more variants, lots of different ways you can play, but I'll talk about those a bit in the final thoughts, which you can get to now by hitting the button in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.